Good morning. It is December 16th, 2025. It's time for another Taco Tuesday, and it's a very special episode today. It is our 100th Taco Tuesday. I can hardly believe it. Shout out to my colleague Nick, who I think was the first one to realize that we were about to have our 100th episode, and he notified me in time that we could actually mention it. So that's great. So I am joined today by three of our excellent vendor partners here at WiLS. And in order to keep things moving along rapidly, I'm going to start off by calling on Amy Cameraman, who comes to us from Oxford University Press. Amy, are you ready to share your screen and take us away?
I am ready to share my screen and start this wonderful morning or afternoon for the Taco Tuesday. So I will go ahead. If my clock is ticking, I will go for it, and I will share my screen so that everybody can enjoy what we're going to talk about today. Let's see, I'm going to share that one, and you should be able to see something called Oxford Intersections on your screen. Oxford Intersections is one of our newer products at Oxford University Press, and I really like it because it's an interdisciplinary program that we've developed to share ideas in different areas. Through our resources that we have available. So I'll just kind of give a little quick background about what it is. So you should be able to see like the main page there, but it's a new concept of interdisciplinary academic publishing, and it's an online only product. So that means it can get updated very quickly and over time. So most of the intersections that we have available will be updated over 3 years. So as new things come along and to stay current, we will update them. So they're timely, they're global topics such as AI in society, racism by context, and then another one, social media in society and culture. So each topic within Oxford Intersections will contain about 300 peer-reviewed original research articles, and they're helpfully organized into themed sections. So we move away from that linear kind of long form research and are approaching these societal issues from a different angle. And we'll explore these challenges with a multifaceted perspective, an array of angles from leading authorities that emerge into new insights. So this diverse community of voices fosters unexpected connections and transcends kind of that disciplinary boundary. So you're going to find things in, for example, in AI and society, not just from a technical perspective, but humanities and science and healthcare and things like that. So you get a kind of a well-rounded perspective on these topics and the structure. I can kind of give you an example as we click through to show you some of these topics in development here at the bottom. I always choose AI in society because it's the first one. It's the one I go to. And so with Oxford Intersections, you get a short introduction to the topic, and then you can view the published articles from this intersection here. And I'll click on that. And this is just to kind of show you more of how the interface looks. So it's a little less daunting if you go in here. And so this is the collection page. So this is the landing page for the collection. And this is where you're going to find all the articles for AI in society. And it's on our platform for Oxford Academic. So if you have Oxford Academic, the platform is very user-friendly. It kind of expands across journals and books from Oxford University Press. So if you are familiar with it at all, it shouldn't come as a surprise on how it looks or what kind of information we have available here. What I love about Oxford Intersections is it continues that wonderful practice of peer review, and our editors and everything are very well documented and listed here. So you can click on their name, get their credentials, anything like that that might be important to your users. And here's our abstract, again, describing what this intersection is. And as you scroll down, you will get those articles. So right now, it looks like we have 119 articles and resources within this intersection. And everything that's available will have that unlocked item there, and then we can scroll down. These are alphabetical by title, but again, of course, you can say, I'm curious to know what got added the most recently to this, and so it'll redo that, and we can see when these were added. So this was added today, so that's pretty awesome. And I will click on this title just to show you a little bit more about the abstract. And this is one of the actual articles. It'll tell you at the top in that lovely gray color square. If it's the collection or if it's an article, you will have your author's names, the title, everything like that here at the top, an abstract. And then over here on the left-hand side of the screen, you can navigate through the content very easily by clicking on these interactive options over here. So you don't have to read the article in full. You can skip around. I find that really helpful. And then one of the most fun things I've found with our products is this split view option. You can, of course, look at it as a PDF if you want to save it, send it as an attachment, anything like that. That's all within its capabilities here. But you can use this split view, and the split view provides you with the article on one side of the page. So there it is on the left, and I'll scroll through that so you can see it. But it also provides you with an interactive option for looking at figures and tables, references, anything like that that would pop up. This is really helpful if you're looking at something where statistics or graphs or charts or maps or anything like that play a role in the content. You can see that alongside the actual article on the left. So you don't have to flip down to the bottom of the article. You can navigate through, and I'll show you kind of how that will take you and jump you over to the references at the end of the article. And so this is a great learning tool. I love the split view because it can help researchers get to those references very quickly. It can enable your users to understand a little bit more about citation. It can help them explore interlibrary loan or WorldCat or anything like that that the library would like to kind of engage their users with. So it's a really nice way to kind of make that connection within the article itself. So with that in mind, and I have a couple more minutes, with that in mind, I wanted to talk a little bit about how Oxford Intersections kind of fits in within the research journey. So with Oxford Academic and the fact that we have journals and books within this platform, and now we have Oxford Intersections kind of grabbing and utilizing those journals and books to kind of create this collection. So when we look at Oxford Intersections, we're going to see that content kind of collected and put into these intersections. So if you're a researcher or you're looking to kind of engage your students or other faculty or librarians within this research process, using other Oxford University Press resources, you can begin your research process by using our very short introductions. We can look at our research encyclopedias, kind of those beginner reference materials that we provide, and to get a basic understanding of the topics that you're going to look at. And from there, someone can move on to our Oxford Handbooks, which provides a critical review of the current state of scholarly debate, and explore recommended reading using one of our Oxford bibliographies. So there's a wonderful process and a wonderful journey that you can take through our resources within the Oxford University Press world. And then that's where, after those bibliographies and you've kind of gotten an understanding of your topics, that's where Oxford Intersections comes in. And this is, it's a new product, but you can discover original research here across disciplines. So you kind of get a better perspective of how others maybe outside your discipline, or maybe you're curious about how somebody else looks at this topic, and you can see how that research kind of overlaps. And I love that. That's one of my favorite things. As a librarian, I always tried to make people aware of the fact that AI is not in a bubble, or different topics are not in a bubble. There's other ways to look at things. So that's one of my favorite things about Intersections, is it really creates that bridge to understanding others and understanding kind of that more wide view of the world. So I really like that we've kind of collected that wide view of the world in certain instances. So you can continue using Oxford Intersections. You can use Oxford Scholarship Online to look at in-depth focus pieces of original scholarship within our journals and books. And this really does bridge that gap between references and content. So you can really get that more specialized look at our journals and academic books this way. So I'm really excited about Oxford Intersections. It's really different, and like I said, more topics will come online. And if you had questions about like how to purchase these or anything like that, I'm happy to answer those questions. Or if you had questions just in general about, well, how would I use these? I'm happy to take a couple of questions. If we have time for that, I'm happy to do that.
Amy, we definitely do have time, but I haven't seen any questions
Okay.
yet. I will mention that I will say to anyone watching live, please do, if you have any questions, throw them into our comments here. But also, as always, you can always reach us here at coop@wils.org if you've got a question after the fact. If you happen to be watching the recording, and we can of course relay that to Amy to for an answer if it's something that we can't answer. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, Amy, thank you so much for showing this. I don't think I had heard of intersections before, so I'm always
It's
very
it's
excited to see something new.
yeah, it's new and exciting, and I like the fact that we're constantly kind of updating it. So if anybody has questions after the fact, or if they wanted to talk to us, like me, I'm a trainer. I can talk to anybody about, how to better utilize this or how to focus it for, if it's librarians looking at getting faculty to use it, or librarians kind of working with faculty to get students to use it, or any kind of institution that would like to kind of explore this more. I'm happy to talk about that, and maybe focus in a little bit more on how they can really kind of slip this into their library instruction, or into just resources and things, creating libguides or anything like that. I'm happy to talk about that. So thank you so much for having us today.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. We're very
Yeah,
pleased to have you. Wills has been partnered with Oxford University Press forever, for a very, very long time. So we're always happy to have some of our longstanding partnerships represented here. And although this is Amy's first time on Taco Tuesday, so thanks so much for joining us,
yeah,
Amy.
my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much. All right, and I'll stop sharing now. I think my time is almost up, but I can stop sharing my screen.
All right. I'll get us ready
There we go.
for our next presenter. Since we're a little bit ahead of schedule here, but that's okay. All right. So, as I mentioned, Oxford University Press is a longtime Will's vendor partner. ClassHook, a little bit more recent, but several years at this point. Alex has been joining us for Taco Tuesdays for a few years now, so I'm very excited to welcome back Alexander Deeb to talk to us about ClassHook. Alex, I can stop sharing my screen if you're ready to take over.
Sure, I'm ready. And thanks again for the opportunity, and really great to see everyone here and also on the recording if you're tuning in later. So I'm with ClassHook, and what we do is basically we work with a lot of school libraries to help them find really great, relevant media to bring into the classroom. We focus specifically on helping educators bring in popular media into their lessons. So a teacher can bring in The Simpsons, they can bring in Osmosis Jones, they can bring in all these different series. And we basically have built a curated library of these short form video clips that you can bring into the classroom. So instead of watching a full-length movie and spending 1 or 2 class periods on that, you can find a short clip that really gets to the main point and then go from there and conduct your lesson from there. So we're really focused on really helping you find that perfect lesson hook at the beginning of your lesson to get students interested and engaged in whatever you're going to teach them. So on ClassHook, we have about 7,400 videos. We've done the work and we've had some great people whose jobs is to go and watch movies and find educational scenes. And we put that all together in one platform, searchable by grade level, subject, topic, and many other criteria. So here I'm logged in as a elementary school health teacher. Right off the bat, I'm going to get some popular videos and some recommendations based on what I teach. And so you can see here, there's this clip from Osmosis Jones. We've tagged that under health. We have some video clips from Fizzy's Lunch Lab, which is an online series around cooking and dinner and teamwork. And so we tag these videos really granularly so you can find specifically what you're looking for. the big challenge that a lot of educators had in incorporating videos in their lessons was, one, they would go to YouTube and it would take forever to find a video, or two, it would just take, they would find something that's not quite appropriate or not quite for their lesson, and they're not really sure whether this is something they can trust. And so we have become over the years a trusted platform, a curated platform for you to find videos so that you don't have to go to YouTube. You can come to ClassHook and find something engaging for your kids. So a couple of ways that I wanted to walk through a couple of ways that you can use the platform just to show you how your teachers might use it or how you as a librarian might use it. One is you come in and you search for whatever you're going to teach in your next lesson. So in this case, let's say we are teaching simile in English. You just type simile and we've got video clips from Aladdin, Guardians of the Galaxy. Some of these series might look pretty familiar, right? I think we all know the Forrest Gump scene. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Right from here, you can watch that video, and these videos can be made interactive as well. So if you want at some point in the video, I'm going to click play. I set up a question on this demo account right at the beginning where it asks them what does Forrest mean by comparing life to a box of chocolates. But this is a good opportunity to use this video to do a check for understanding, I think, pair share, or talk and turn, so that students could really start to think about what is it that we're trying to learn and get out of this video. Those questions are optional. You don't have to put them in, but they are there if you want to do that. And if you want to do that, you would just go down here and you can go to, we have two types of discussion questions. One is a pause prompt, which is embedded in the video. And you could actually see what other educators have set up here under these prompts. This is a demo account, so there are lots of different prompts here. Normally, you might only want a few questions in your video, otherwise your students will be annoyed you're stopping every second. And you could actually just use these prompts that other educators have brought in. There are regular discussion questions you can add to the video as well that are just more as a point of reference for you or the students to think about. And we do have a little bit of AI in the product to just generate those questions for you to give you a starting point. And they're really meant to be inspiration or ideas onto how you can use that video. So once I click generate, we have questions here that say, can you identify the simile in this sentence? And these questions are not just generic questions about simile. They actually use a transcript of the video to inform what you should ask, right? And that's how you would develop a question. You would ask a question specifically about the video and then connect it to a larger theme. So the idea behind ClassHook, which I should have mentioned a little earlier, is our goal is to help you create great discussions and pique student interest using these video clips. So it's not meant to be necessarily a full-on lesson plan, but you could easily turn one of these videos into a whole discussion that then, connects to the rest of your lesson. We do have ways to assign the videos to students as well. This is a lightweight assignment feature, so you can do that. You can also share this out to Google Classroom, to PowerPoint, however you want to share the videos, you can do that as well. So it integrates well with your existing systems. And then you can also generate playlists. So if you're more serving as like a resource teacher in some capacity, generating resources for teachers, you can put together a playlist of ELA videos or health videos or whatever it is, and then share that with educators, and then they can go and then use those videos. And so to add a video to a playlist, you just do one click here and it adds it. I've already added it, so I just did a remove and then re-added it. And then if you wanted to go and access any of your content, you can go to your videos here under playlists. And so I do have a short playlist here for WiLS Taco Tuesday. So I added this garden metaphor video from Boy Meets World. You can invite other educators to go and manage this playlist. So I can just send them this link, and then they're going to be able to add their own videos, and together, almost like with your PLC, you can build a playlist. Or you can just do more of the heavy lifting, and then you can add more videos on metaphor or simile from here. And as you can see, it takes just a couple of minutes not even a couple of minutes, it takes a few seconds to find relevant videos and then add them. Something I wanted to mention is another way you can find videos is you can search by subject here. And so at the top, you click browse subjects, and then you can see how we've broken down all the videos. We have videos on all the core subjects and other subjects as well as business, health. We have social emotional learning, life skills. you name it, we've got lots of videos. And again, we did all that work to go and categorize these popular media videos onto these topics. So if we click on digital citizenship, for example, it's going to give you, examples from Ralph Breaks the Internet, Friends, Ellen DeGeneres Show, and many more. So that's how you can go and search for a video. You can browse through videos by subject. We have other ways to search for videos as well. If you want to search by genre or you want to search video clips by specific academic standards. Right now we have alignment to Common Core and several state standards. We do not have Wisconsin quite yet, but we are working on adding that. And if you do have a mapping between your curriculum and the Common Core, then you can find the Common Core standards here as well. And so just to show you what that looks like, if I choose Common Core grade 3 and I just say, simile as an example, it's going to show all the standards and then it's going to give me the video clips that are in the supplement and support that standard. So you don't have to go searching and trying to figure out which clips follow which standard. You can just search by the standard. If you want to put in the code as well, you can just do that. So I'm going to just reset these filters and then choose this code, and it's going to just show me only the videos supporting that code. One feature I'd love to highlight, which is quite unique on ClassHook, is the vocabulary finder. So this is a great way that educators can use video clips or use authentic dialogue from TV shows and movies to teach vocabulary words. So let's just say I type in the word experiment. Rather than having students go and watch a YouTube video and it says experiment and then it gives you the definition, not really a fun way to learn it, you can actually come in here and see all the moments that you use that word. And then you can see some of the context in that dialogue as well. So this is great for inferencing activities. If you want students to infer the meaning of a word, you can give them these sentences to use, or you can even click on these timestamps and it'll bring you right to the moment in the video where they use that word. So that's a great way to get students some exposure to the word. You can also just use these as more examples for students because they might not fully understand some complex words, so they just need more examples to see it used in different ways. So this gives you that ability to do that. So this works for individual words, this works for phrases. This could be used to support students who are learning English as a new language or English as a second language, or even students who are trying to learn more technical terms in science or math or even computer science. You can use this to support the vocabulary in those fields. So it's really kind of a neat tool, and you could even do filtering by grade level if you want to find video clips along that are aligned more with specific grade levels or for a specific audience. So with ClassHook, you basically get access to the whole video platform. It is free for you to try and just play around. You could see if it's a fit for your school. You just go to classhook.com and you can sign up for a free account. And then if you do want to work with us with your school, we do have some pricing here on the pricing page. And so this is for individual teachers. You would have to contact us to talk about sales. And then you would also go through WiLS and get a discount. But basically, we give you access to the full platform. It's either you get a little bit on the free or you get everything on the paid. And so you don't have to worry about what tier am I in and this, and that. It's really you get access to everything and you're all covered. And so that's how you can get in touch through here or through WiLS. And you're also free to contact me. I think we'll share out my information after this as well. But that's a little bit about ClassHook, and I think I am early on my time as well.
Thanks again so much, Alex, for joining us. I always like seeing ClassHook. I'm really I feel like I talk a lot about this now, this sort of like alternative, I don't even know if alternative is the right way of putting it, but more like creative or outside of the box teaching methodologies and integration of popular media into teaching and learning. And so ClassHook obviously is a quintessential example of that in action. So I'm always happy when you're here to highlight it for us.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Well, let me share my screen one more time. As Alex mentioned, we are running a little bit ahead of schedule, so I'm hoping that our third presenter will be we'll be ready to go. I see. All right. It looks like maybe Amy. Hello, welcome.
Yep, I've been
Um,
lurking.
well, another new face for me today, but representing the longtime Will's vendor partner. I'm joined today by Amy Shelton, coming to us from Library Help. Amy, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can take over and let me know when you're ready to go.
All right. I think that worked.
It did. Yep, we can see your slideshow.
Perfect. All right, so my name is Amy Shelton. I am the CIO of Nub Games Incorporated. Most people don't recognize Nub Games, but basically we are Library Help. Library Help is our one and only product. So we put a lot of love and a lot of time and effort into it. There's our contact information there, and I think I have it also on my end slide. So if anybody needs to get in contact with me after the fact, after this presentation, happy to take phone calls, emails to answer questions. So Library Help, for those of you who are not familiar, is a real-time customer service platform for libraries, academia, and nonprofits. By and large, most of our customers are libraries, mostly academic libraries, but we have a lot of public libraries as well. Our flagship module within that platform is chat, real-time chat. And you'll find chat on libraries' websites. You'll find it in catalogs. Basically, any digital resource a library has, you can embed library help as long as you have access to adding links, or if you can add third-party JavaScript, library help will work there. And you can have chat anywhere in as many places as you want. We don't put any limits on that. Or the idea behind library help is unlimited access. So it's unlimited user accounts, unlimited chat. So you can put it anywhere you want to enable communication with your patrons. We also have an email module. We call it 3Mail because we have a 3 in our library help name. And it's just a simple shared email model. And we also have an FAQ module or a knowledge-based module where you can build FAQs for your patrons, because we all know that there's a lot of common questions that are asked over and over and over again. And you can put those questions and their answers in an FAQ, and you can direct patrons to that after hours, like if chat isn't available or librarians have gone home for the evening and maybe a patron is on your website or using some of your resources and they need help, they can consult your knowledge base to find answers, probably because they have the same questions that have been asked before. Going back a little bit to chat, it's not just text-based. So certainly patrons can ask questions, what are your hours? How do I get to the library? That sort of thing. But there is more to it than just text. You can send images. So if you're trying to help a patron do some research and they're getting lost within a tool and you're following along with them on your end, you can take a snapshot of your screen, and there's an image markup tool that's integrated into Library Help. And you can use that markup tool to circle things, to highlight things, and then you can send that image to the patron to help direct them to a certain part of their screen that maybe they might be overlooking. We have screen sharing tools built into chat. And we also have proactive invitations. And that is just simply a timer-based pop-up that'll appear on a website, because sometimes, when a patron is sitting on a page for a long period of time and maybe they're doing some research and questions are starting to pop up and they, looking around the page for help and they don't necessarily see the chat offering at first. This pop-up will help kind of draw attention to the fact that there is a librarian available who can answer their questions. We also have 2 add-ons. So when you get a subscription to Library Help, you get the first 3 things unlimited. And if you would like to add on texting or text messaging, you can do that. It is an inexpensive add-on. And that just gives the library a 10-digit number. So patrons would text a regular number just like they would call the library. It's your number. You can port it out if you decide to leave Library Help. And by and large, most of our libraries get by on $75 So it's a very inexpensive add-on, especially for reference sort of interactions. The other add-on we have is professional backup staffing through our partner ChatStaff. And so if you want to do 24/7 coverage and you don't have enough staff to do that, or you're a small library and maybe just a single librarian and you can't do your job and also answer chat at the same time, that's where ChatStaff kind of steps in, and they can do custom hours for you coverage, or they can do 24/7. I wanted to go through some examples in the wild so you can see what LibraryHelp looks like. I've picked out these resources here and also some knowledge base examples. In the case of our knowledge base, you have full access to the templates, and not just adding questions and answers into your knowledge base. You have full access to the templates, so you can completely control the look and feel. You can do your own customizations, and if that's overwhelming to you, we can help with free design and import services for the knowledge base. And we do help with chat too, but it's a lot easier for us to do the knowledge base because with chat, it involves integration into external websites and stuff. And so we can advise there, but we don't have as much control as we would with the knowledge base. So let me show some of these examples in the wild. All right, so here's our first example. I'll start here at the top. This is Carroll University. They have a really beautiful web page here. This is their library's homepage. And if you scroll down, they have opted to put LibraryHelp chat right here. So it's a very simple chat widget. This area here is where your transcript is. If you're a patron, you would click in this box and this is where you would type. And if you were doing research and you needed to leave this website, but you wanted to keep your chat going, there is a little pop-out icon on all of the embedded boxes there. So that actually puts this out into a completely separate, if I can, there we go. It's a completely separate window from here. So then the patron can happily navigate around, but keep the chat going with the librarian. Here's another example. This is the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay. They have a nice research help page where they outline their email contact. You can book an appointment with a librarian. Here's their hours, and then here is their chat widget right there. So same thing here. The conversation with the librarian will be in this space. Down here is where the patron types. And again, there's the pop-out area. You can pop that out into a new window. Here they've opted to give you controls, give this a patron controls for sound so they can turn on and off sound notifications. There's emojis that you can insert into the conversation. And if the patron wants to clear their chat history for privacy reasons, they can do that. Here is another example. This is La Crosse County Public Library. So instead of this is their page, and instead of embedding a widget right into the flow of the page, they have this little pop-up here in the corner. It says, if you hover on it, it says, we're available, click to chat. So if they click on that, it opens up it's just like that pop-out I had showed before, but now it's being generated by this click action of the chat icon there in the bottom right. So this is their chat widget. A good thing to note too is when librarians are offline, what will happen here is that this will turn into an email icon, and then clicking on this will send the patron to email to contact the librarian. So with LibraryHelp, you can customize your online appearance and your offline appearance. Here's another one. This is Milwaukee Public Library. They have opted to put their chat widget right here within the flow of the page in the sidebar. So now onto the FAQ module, the knowledge base. Here is UWP. Let me reload this. They have a really nice FAQ. It's simple, and you can see their questions and their answers. Clicking on here will let you read more. You can click on this to look at the individual question. But down here, they also have what we call proactive chat, which popped up just now. And so you're sitting on the page, you can click on this to launch this chat box. And that's what we call our proactive chat box. Whereas the regular in-page option is right here. So maybe a patron might miss this little link. That proactive box will pop up and give the patron an opportunity to chat with the librarian. Here's another one. This is Marquette University. They have a really highly customized FAQ page. This is their FAQ. It's still the same library help module, but you can tell that they've really done a lot with their templates and made it their own. All right, let me go back to my PowerPoint. So from the guest point of view, we've shown what the chat module looks like. This is a screenshot of our blog, which has a embedded chat widget right there in the sidebar. You can see I'm typing down here. This is where the guest types, and then this is the conversation here. We have our identity set up as LH3 because library help's a little bit long. So I initially sent this message in as a patron Amy test chat from our blog, and then I responded, got it. And this is what it looks like from the librarian point of view over here. I don't know if move that over there. So when a chat comes in, a box like this pops up. You see the message from the patron. You see messages that you send, and then here's the area. Oop, oh goodness. Here is the area where the librarian would type to send messages. There are canned messages. There are all sorts of bells and whistles here. You can do all sorts of things. You can flag chats. You can tag them for later on. You can do email follow-ups. There's all kinds of, you can send attachments. And then over here is a contact list. You can see the guests. They're anonymous. That's the important thing with library help is that guests are anonymous. We do support entry forms if you do want to collect personal data, but by default, it is not there. You can see your other librarians. My colleagues Pam and Sheila were also available at the time I took the screenshot, so you can see them right there. We have conference rooms, which are also called back chat. Some of our librarians call them back chat. It's a private conference room. You can see who's in the conference room, and you can just have a little group chat going on. It's really helpful if you're staffing and you need to ask questions and get other people's input, maybe on a current chat or something else is going on. This is our email module or 3Mail, really simple shared inbox. You have librarians that are assigned to the same mailbox. All the messages show up here. You can tag them. You can see this is our actual inbox for library help support. We tag them with a person's name who need to be working on something. And then we also have in development right now a ticketing system. I believe Pam's talked about this previously on a Taco Tuesday. It's a new inquiry management system. Tickets come in from patrons. They arrive through web forms that are on your website, or you can input them directly through staff just entering the information. Maybe somebody emailed you or somebody came up to you in person and you need to add that as a ticket to be tracked because some resolution is needed for it. You can enter that yourself. And the tickets can be assigned statuses. They come in as unassigned. You can assign them. They're in progress. They're blocked or waiting on something. They're closed, that sort of thing. And you can transfer them around. So if you're a large organization and a ticket comes into the wrong group of people, you can move it to the correct group of people. And if you're a small organization, maybe you just have, one group of people, and that's fine. No need to transfer there. You can send notification emails to staff and clients. So if a ticket is created, you can set up notifications to let people know that a ticket's been created. You can send confirmation emails to your patrons that a ticket has been created. You can send information. You can send emails every time a ticket gets updated. All the normal things that you would expect are set up in these notification emails. So right now, this is an active development project. We have a few partners that are working with us. We considered it a beta product right now, and we hope to get it to production status next year. We also have in alpha, and this is something new that we haven't mentioned before, a chatbot and knowledge base assistant in development. We consider this an alpha status, so it's very, very early development, and we do have some partners working with us as well on this development. It is built on that knowledge base, the FAQ module that I had mentioned earlier. Plus, you can add on external websites to supplement your contacts. So you have your FAQ set up, you have common questions and answers, and maybe you want to supplement that with just your standard information from your library website. You can add that external site into a list of sites that our bot will crawl. It'll harvest that information, and when it answers patrons or staff, that's going to use the information both from your knowledge base and from this external website to get information to answer questions. So the chat bot, so I talk about a chat bot and a knowledge base assistant. The chat bot is something that guests interact with. You get the chat widget that I showed before, but instead of a human answering, it's going to be a chat bot. The chat bot can transfer to humans on request, or if it decides that it needs help, it can tag for follow-up. It can send emails of the transcript to somebody for attention. And then the knowledge base assistant is something that's behind the scenes. It's something that staff uses for internal use only. Maybe you use it to answer questions in-house. Maybe you use it as a help tool to answer chats when you're staffing chat. Maybe you use it because you truly don't know the answer to something and you're just, doing your job and want to know something. You can connect with the knowledge base assistant to answer those questions. And this is something that's in active development. And I have an example set up that has our support bot. So this support bot, it's right here. This is our library help widget. So if you go to and if you're curious about this, go to our website after 5 p.m. Eastern time or before 8 or 9 a.m. Eastern time, and you'll find that our chat bot is staffing chat, and you can have fun and interact with this chat bot. And so we're kind of just testing it out, seeing what people do with it, evaluating the effectiveness of its answers, and using that and iterating and making everything much better. So we have a disclaimer on here. It lets you know that you're chatting with our support bot, and we ask if you let us know what you think. So I could say hi there. And then you can see the support bot's typing. It says, how I can assist you today. I could say something like, should have thought something. You can say, what is a chat widget? So it's thinking, and it's going to tell you what the chat widget refers to: a chat box that's embedded in a web page, allows guests to communicate with operators. And then it's going to give you links to the documentation, to the FAQ. So if I click on that, it's going to take us to the library help FAQ. And this is the question. This is the question it linked to. What do you mean by widget? So that is a little bit of our support bot. Like I said, if you go to our website, which is libraryhelp.com, after hours, you're going to find this chat bot and you can interact with him. All right. And I think that concludes. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to take them. Again, I'm Amy Shelton. You can reach me at support@libraryhelp.com, and that's our phone number.
Thank you again, Amy, for joining us. I think it's been a little while since we had Library Help on, so it's really great to see some of the new features and enhancements available. I haven't seen any questions come in from anyone yet today, but we will, of course, encourage everyone watching this live or on the recording to reach out either directly to the folks you see here using the contact information they've shared, or to us here at WiLS, and we'll put you in touch. Thanks again for joining us, Amy, and we're very happy to have you back for another Taco Tuesday.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Okay, well, with that, actually, that is going to bring us to the end of our Taco Tuesday, our 100th Taco Tuesday. So I will say thank you again to all three of our presenters for joining us today, showing us what's new and cool from your companies. We're always really happy to share this information out. And Even though we're 100 episodes in, I think Taco Tuesday is still going strong. We're having a great time. We love doing it. It seems to be a very popular offering from WiLS, so we're going to keep on rolling into the new year. So if you are watching this live, or if you're watching this on recording, please do keep your eyes peeled for the announcement of our 2026 Taco Tuesday dates, and with whole new sets of presenters to show us what they have to offer from our WiLS vendor partners. So thanks again to our presenters. Thank you for watching, and for watching 100 episodes of Taco Tuesday. We will be back in January. And until then, I hope everyone has a lovely winter break. And if you celebrate any of the kind of winter holidays, I hope you have a wonderful time with that. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again really soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye.